Hey, what's going on, Broncos country? Jared here, watching the end of this first half. Unfortunately, saw a stat on there that said we are the second most lost fumbles in the league right now. Not a great way to end this half, but hey guys, as we finish watching this first half, however it ends up, I'll be kind of giving you guys a play-by-play here in a couple seconds. At least from what I got, I assume I'm delayed from you guys, especially if you're watching Colorado. Looks like they're probably gonna end up kicking a field goal here. Post your comments, questions, and concerns about what you saw in this first half against the Kansas City Chiefs, what you expect in the second half, what you want to see, what you wish to see, and we'll go from there. So it looks like, yep, they're coming out with a field goal kicking team. And we'll see what happens. Welcome, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining us here at the Orange Weekly Broadcast Network, the original halftime hash. Unfortunately, gave the ball back to them to let them kick a field goal, and they made it. Cool. So instead of 14-6 or possibly a 17-6 game, it's 14-9 at half. Your Denver Broncos are up 14-9. Post your questions, comments, concerns. I'll kind of start it off on what I think is going on in this game. But I'll tell you what, defense is playing pretty okay. And I'm not going to say great. I'm not going to say they're the best. We have three turnovers, which is great on them for the turnovers. However, we are also giving up a lot of yards. We're giving up a lot of big plays, unfortunately. But McMillan with two huge plays. Obviously, the interception was huge. And then that fourth down or the third down stop on the last drive, the big jump in. It was great. Oh, no volume? Oh, no, Clayton. I'm sorry, brother. Hold on. Let me check my settings. All right, check. Can you guys hear me? I'll turn it up a little bit closer. All right, so yeah, so that's basically how we're feeling right now, how everything's going, and that's where we're at. All right, let me check some verification. Can anybody else hear me? Comment if you guys can hear me. All right. What? All right, we're good to go. So here's what I got for the first half. Denver's defense playing very well. Unfortunately, they're giving up a lot of yardage. However, McMillan was great in a couple obviously the big interception. He had a huge pass breakup there as it was coming towards the end of the half. I'll give it to you. But I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable up 14-9. Again, what possibly could have been 17-6. And now all of a sudden 14-9 just in Denver Broncos fashion. And somehow we get ourselves in a situation at the end of the half that we're at the end of the game that it looks like we're going to win or we're going to go up by another score and something happens ridiculous like a fumble. And I said at the beginning of the show, if you guys weren't here, I'm going to say it again. I just saw the stat on the screen. Looks like we're the second most fumbles lost in the NFL right now this year, which I kind of hate. I kind of hate seeing that. And a lot of them are from Russ. I will say a lot of them are from Russ in the fumbles. And he had went for it on a fourth down. I'll talk about that for a second. The fourth down, I agree with going for it on the fourth down. I agree with you guys watching on the screen on TV. The commentators saying like they knew they were going for fourth down by the play they ran, the fact that they never brought the offense off, and then we ended up taking a timeout like we didn't know what was happening or what the next play was going to be. So that was a little confusing for me. I'm not sure. Audio choppy. Dang it, guys. All right, I appreciate it, man. They can give me. We're gonna try it again. Hopefully, this is better. Usually this works. So if it's better, it is. If not, I'm sorry. Sorry for the audio situation. Perfect. Thanks, Andrew. So the big thing on the first half, that going for it on fourth down was really confusing. Having needed to call a timeout was rough. But the defense is playing pretty well. We're keeping them out of the end zone. We're giving up a ton of yards, crap ton of yards that I'm not super happy with. That end of the game, the fact that we end up not only turning the ball over, but then getting them in field goal position like it was nothing.
makes me worried for the second half and the adjustments that we could or couldn't make. Yeah, they got me. Sorry, the wife came in here and told me it was choppy too. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, and of course, yeah, Andrew, I appreciate this. John in our group chat was like, in case anybody didn't know, Mahomes is sick right now. And they keep saying it over and over and over again because they're trying to find an excuse. If we win this game, they're going to find all the excuses. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay. I don't care about any excuse in the book. We just need to win this game. We need it so bad in a season that's gone so bad for us. Going into a game that we're, I think, 16. I think I put 8 years in a row, but I think it's more like 6 or 7 years in a row that we haven't beat them. We need a win. We need a moral victory, and that's what this could be for us. And I think the defense is playing well enough. The offense has some struggles. A couple big touchdowns. Jerry Jeudy's playing very well. Big catch over the middle, which I loved, and then getting him the touchdown at the end of it. However, what are we going to do in the second half? I think somebody comes up here. We all know what's going to happen. Fidel, I appreciate you joining. We're all what's going to happen. Denver's always finding a way to beat themselves. We're the 2000 to present Raiders. And Raiders going to Raider. The Chargers going to Charger. Like, all of a sudden, we're that team now. Like, the Broncos are going to Bronco. Like, we're no longer up by a score, right? We're no longer up by a score and a half. We're no longer, like, it's now basically a tied game as far as everybody's concerned. And we do get the kickoff in the second half. I hope the Broncos prove us wrong. I really want to see it, but is our defense going to be able to keep up the way that they've been playing? Are we going to be able to adjust to whatever the Kansas City adjusts? Because remember, the Kansas City Chiefs are very good at adjusting and very good at winning games towards the end. Are we going to be able to do that? And then secondly, are we going to be able to offensively be able to push it down? Juan says, let's have some faith and we'll win. Andrew's on the same page as me. Scared the second half. I'm excited now. You know what this reminds me of? And it's so sad. Like, early in the season when we all had hope, right? We all had that glimmer of hope in our eyes for the year. That Washington game where we're just absolutely doing so well in the first half. And we're not even doing that well. But I do have that hope of like, oh, man, this team could be, if we could keep this up. But then I remember we're playing the Chiefs. We're playing Mahomes. We're playing Andy Reid, who can adjust very, very well. I hope I keep the high tempo. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely, Sean. Reestablishing that first quarter run game. That was huge. I think at one point before it started going south, we were like 16 runs and 9 passes, and it was great. We were killing it. Our offensive line is doing very well in the run. Our running backs are getting 6 or 7 yards per carry. I can pull up the stats here right now, but it's huge. Neil says, going in with faith. Let's go. I mean, I appreciate it. I hope so too. I just don't want to get hurt again. I've been hurt too many times, and I just don't want to be hurt again. I'm going to pull up the stats for this first half real quick. Hopefully you guys have them close, but I want to see what our rushing yards per carry are, because we had 16 rushes at one point. I think we only had like 1 or 2 since that point. And let's see, box score. All right, so our rushing with Russell Wilson's rushes, we are 4.5 yards per carry right now. I will take 4.5 yards per carry for the rest of this game. Dying to see a long touchdown run by Javonte. He's gotten close. There's been a couple times he got in the secondary, and I was like, he's going to break this. All he's got to do is stiff arm that 220-pound soaking wet DB and get him to the ground. He's gone, but they end up getting him. I think it's coming. I think Javonte's might have a big run, and I think that might be what breaks out our second half. But again, we have to stick with the run in the second half. Don't try to run out the clock with the run. Just try to stick with the run, get our powers in, get a couple play actions in every once in a while, get Russ some time in the pocket with the play actions, and we'll be good. We have 3 very good running backs who are running very well. So let's keep it up. Let's see. Javonte has 10 carries. Russ has 4, and then they've only given McLaughlin 2 carries, but Pirine has been in there a couple times. He got a couple catches there towards the end. They're liking him specifically on passing downs. Yep. Don't know why we abandoned the run inside the 5-yard line. I just think that's a lack of faith in the offensive line somehow, or the expectation, like they think they're expecting it. But I agree with you. Wish we could see who Wilson was going to throw a moon ball before he got stripped. Yeah, he was getting ready to throw that ball. it'd be interesting to watch the tape on that one. Watching it, Old Town, Denver Broncos for life. That's what I'm talking about, Neil. Looking good, but our 2-minute offense sucks. They play too desperate. Kellen, this is a great point, and I think my wife, I'm going to give her credit on this one. She says the biggest problem with Russ is under pressure situations. He plays like he's under pressure. He plays like very panicky. He's freaking out a little bit, and it seems like that's what the team's doing. Our 2-minute drill, when either the ball's in our hand to win the game, the ball's in our hands to maybe get another score before half when we have a 2-minute timeline, it's just too panicky. So I really like plays too desperately. It looks like we're trying too hard, and everyone's kind of panicking out there, like they're not fully sure. We just need to play our game. Let's get a defensive touchdown. Andrew says, okay, so we do have 3 turnovers. Guys, huge. I think 2 fumbles. Baron Browning coming in huge with the comeback, playing so glad he's back. We really missed him in the first 5 or 6 games. So happy he's back because he came in with a huge strip on Patrick Mahomes. Got another fumble off of the wide receiver, making a football move, getting hit. And then obviously the interception by McMillan, who again, playing super well. Super happy McMillan's playing as well as he is. Yeah, so let's continue the defensive game. People have been asking about VJ being, it looks like we're getting ready to come back on second half as I'm watching on live. If you guys see it come back earlier, let me know. Everybody talk about VJ's job up for, but the last 2 games, his defense has been playing well. If we can keep a defensive performance like this, I know the media correspondents are all going to talk about how the whole reason for this is all about, Patrick Mahomes being sick and maybe Travis Kelce's girlfriend not being there or whatever the case is. I don't care. If our defense can continue playing the way they have, keep them to field goals, get 1 or 2 more touchdowns, we can win this game. If we win this game, that's all I want, man. That's all I want. Sutton's role has been limited in this game. It looks like they've been playing for Sutton, and I don't remember. Forgive me for my memory, but if I'm mistaken, but I think Sutton had a big game against him the first time we played him. So I think they're coming in hot and trying to get Sutton out of the game, which is why Jerry Jeudy's been being so successful. And not for nothing, Jerry Jeudy having great catches. That big catch over the middle, I think it was kind of like a corner post that he caught right over the DB, high pointed it. Beautiful catch by Jerry Jeudy. Love to see that. They tried to hit Sutton on one slant, on a one-on-one slant. He looked real lazy. Not lazy coming off the ball, but he looked a lot slower than the DB coming off the ball. And that one I was a little disappointed in. But I think they're just really trying to stop him. I think that was their whole game plan. We'll see what happens in the second half. Andy Reid is an adjustment master. We aren't. That's the easiest way to put it. We are just not very good at adjusting the way that we need to. Paula, appreciate you joining. Yeah, I just want to beat those Chiefs. Let's see. This can propel to the one hell of a second half. The second end of the season. Hey, Kellen, I'm with you. Talk to David. David's dead inside. He was dead inside a long time ago. John's kind of just like giving up. I think Spotty's kind of just like, it is what it is. Kevin's going to be enthusiastic regardless of what. We could go 0-16. He'll be enthusiastic. I'm kind of in that middle way. Like, if we can win this game by a score and a half or 2 scores, for the record, I put money on us. I don't want to say that out loud. Let's too late. But if we can win this game, by like a score, like to a point where there's no chance that they end up coming back, like we just kind of end up finishing the game, then I'll be so happy. And I think the second half of the season could go very, very well for the Denver Broncos. I don't want to be dead inside. I want to have excitement. And unfortunately, I'm also a realist, and I don't want to see what the second half has in store with us unless we can keep up the play, unless we can keep that up. There we go, Kellen. There it is. Yeah, it's a defibrillator game. Yeah, we're pretty much dead. We're on the brink of death, and we need someone to shock us back in life. And if that's this game, then that's this game. And I hope it is. I really do, Kellen. I'm with you 100%. We need to beat the Chiefs. So that's the other thing. And I'll say this: when I made the bet, I made the bet, and I told a friend of mine, I told David actually, I said, leave it to the Broncos on a dead season, on a season that's just not going our way, to finally break the streak and then still nothing comes out of that season. So we'll see what happens. It looks like kickoff's coming on. Andrew, let me get to yours. Who has a feeling we'll never beat Mahomes before he retires? Andrew, game's not over. Second half kickoff has happened now. We can do it. Let's go Broncos. And I'll tell you what, Denver Broncos for life. I love you guys for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Orange Weekly Broadcast Network. Tell your friends, tell your family, have a drink. Thank you so much, and enjoy the second half of this Broncos game. Have a good one, guys.
Do what I like, yeah, do what I like, yeah, do what I like. Sip and go, sip is right, and I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, yeah, I go with the flow, cause I know I'm the show. In the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, in the zone, here I go, yeah, they know I'm a